Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. On deck, we've got what should be a great matchup between the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. With that, we send you up to US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Standing by our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Meanwhile, for the Lions here, they've handled all comers through the first 3 months, a perfect 12-0.
Yeah, they're 3/4 of the way to a perfect season, and now's where it really starts to get into your mind. We'll see if it affects their play in any way.
3/4 of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. Leading the charge at quarterback, the former Georgia Bulldog, Matthew Stafford.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him the win. Now the Georgia Southern man, it's Matt Breida. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. To throw on 2nd down to Stafford. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. Well, look now at the starters on the defensive side for the Lions. In that win last week over the Giants, they were very good.
One thing you always look for when you're evaluating a defense, how opportunistic are they? How many takeaways do they get? How about last week's game? The number was 6. Phenomenal performance.
So trouble already here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 9. From the gun, here's Stafford. And this is going to be incomplete. Well, that's a perfect example of how he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week from last week's game. He is just all around the football right now, isn't he?
That he is, and it's funny because I talked with the coaching staff about drills that they do in practice, and one of them is called matching hands. And as soon as that hand is launched by the quarterback, you throw up the opposite hand and match that hand with the QB, and oftentimes you're able to knock it away, as we just saw there.
He only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. This is brought in at the 21. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And the Lions will take over. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. Leading the charge will be their quarterback. Always fun to watch, Deshaun Watson.
When I was watching film this week, I had to write a note to myself. 3 touchdown passes in an NFL game deserves respect, not ho-hum just because they throw it around all the time, and he got his respect. NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Yeah, it's the ultimate vote of confidence from a week ago. Hey, look, he was great, not his best game ever, but obviously was very good to garner that award. All the talk this week, though, was about let's take that forward now. Good starting field position for him as they come up 1st and 10. Here's Watson. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a first down.
Nice job, nice patience right there. Put him on the right side, let him work his way across, put the ball in his hands, and let him work his way upfield with a catch.
Watson on first down. Now he's flushed out left. And he just gets rid of it. Throws it away. A wise move there. Looked like nobody open. Now 2nd down. And the Buffet boys, the O-line. Hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Reset.
The first carry for the former Nittany Lion. This is Saquon Barkley. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. They get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4.
All right, Brand, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
From the gun on 3rd, Watson. He's got it complete to Crabtree. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down. First time these two have hooked up this afternoon, and it's a first down.
That throw's not going to get them a whole lot, but that really didn't matter, did it? They got what they needed on that throw. Picked up the first down, and I'm going cliche here. Game of inches, partner. Absolutely.
And you talked to me a lot about opening drives, how key those are to set the tone. You kept the drive alive. 3rd down conversion here is big. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
I have no crystal ball up here. I can't truly see into the future. But if they don't start getting some pressure on him, make him move around a little bit and do something with the receivers to, change up their timing, they're going to get shredded as we've seen so far. Right now, they're off to a blazing start.
Yeah, and you are right. He looks way too comfortable back there in the pocket.
Yeah, there should be a pillow back there for him, all right? If as a defensive guy, they've got to dump him on his backside a few times, shake things up.
Yeah, they're going to need an in-drive adjustment here on this first series. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the pickup, and that is going to set up a 3rd and 1.
Some good, strong running right there. Some power and some explosiveness just about got him into the end zone.
This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard. They'll try to run for it. This is Juszczyk. And he gets halfway there down to the 1-yard line. Give him a yard on the play, and he's definitely short. It'll be 4th down and a few inches.
Reset. Do jet.
They'll run for it with Barkley. He didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the first down as he's tackled at the 1. They only get a hard-fought yard, but that's all they needed. It pays off the decision to go for it, 1st and goal.
Reset. 2 jet.
They'll try the air now with Watson. And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. Kyle Juszczyk, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Lions are going to take a first-quarter lead. So they go play action, 3 tight ends out there in the heavy set.
Well, they showed everything that suggested running play. Just what you mentioned, 3 tight ends, heavy formation, able to go play action off of it because if you're a defender, you're thinking it's a running play with that much beef on the field.
But they passed it, and they got 6 out of it. Elliott good on the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. A 10-play drive that time, and it's capped off by a touchdown for the Lions. Elliott now to kick this one away. On the return, here's Justin Hardy. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. And the Vikings now heading onto the field. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
On first down, Stafford here. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
Throwing a Stafford. Right side complete. That's Woods. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go and make the tackle all the way.
Oh, and now he bowls him over. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. The Lions offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race coming into the weekend in the NFC. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that #1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it, it's team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that #1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't take the foot off the gas.
No, not at all. Play it all the way through. And I think we've seen that in recent years in the NFL. The teams that play and play to win each and every game, they're the ones to deal with in the playoffs.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
And he'll be dropped at the 23 after a pickup of about 4. The numbers for him from a week ago, 11 carries, 117 yards, and a touchdown.
Well, we know they've clinched a playoff spot, but there's plenty of football left to play, and I'm a proponent of continuing to do what you've done throughout the season, especially with teams that are heavy run teams. Because if you...
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. They were able to win last week despite him being sacked 4 times. They might need to tighten the reins a little bit, or this one may not end in another victory.
You're right about that. They can't count on just winning the game no matter what happens. They can't let the accumulation of hits and harassment in the pocket get to their quarterback. Got to stop that, give him clean lanes to throw the football in order to have a better chance to win again this week.
Buying time to his left. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. So a good snap, good hold, and right down the middle.
Never in doubt. Just the way you used to hit them, partner.
You mean like kicking the ball?
Exactly.
Well, that was in high school.
Doesn't matter. I don't care what level. You hit them, they go through.
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's going to be taken down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. So 1 quarter in the books on a cold December afternoon. Plenty of scoring here already. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you and you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Back here with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. We've had the kickoff to begin the first. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum? I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and set them down.
Now Stafford, middle of the field, it's Robinson. His first catch, good for 8 and a 1st down.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. 1st down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
On 2nd down, here's Stafford. And this one caught by Cameron Brate. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. First catch for him. It's good for a dozen and a 1st down.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, balls out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
They run with Breida, and able to push forward for right around 3 yards down to the 42.
Not much happening there on first down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
Hey, 22!
Here's Stafford now on second down. Throw left side complete. That's Carpenter. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
Give him a yard on the play, and he's definitely short. It'll be fourth down and a few inches.
They tried their best to pick up that 3rd and 1, but their surge wasn't enough to counteract what came back at them from the defensive side, was it?
Offensive line, especially in the middle, looked like they were on skates a little bit when that one started.
So now we bring up 4th and inches. This will be a critical call. Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
And Detroit getting set to go now. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs, and they come up on second down. Watson, off play action. He's got his man on the crossing route. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. First target, first catch, and a first down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. A first down carry for Barkley. And he'll take this one down to the 36. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
Now a play fake, and it's Watson. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away, and now it's 3rd. The Lions on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 8.
Tiger! Come back!
From the gun, here's Watson. And that one drops incomplete as he got popped as he was throwing it.
Putting pressure on the guy throwing the football is always good, but when you can couple that with contact on him that leads to an incompletion as we just saw there, that's winning football.
And the kick by Elliott is good. And that'll push the lead up to 13-0. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And I tell you, 4 weeks still to go, and everything is wide open, and it's fun.
And I know we always talk about, well, if the playoffs were to begin today, and then we kind of go, okay, but they're not. Let's see how it plays out. Wouldn't it be fun to play with this playoff lineup right now? Because to me, just about anyone can win this whole thing out of this grouping we currently have. And by the time we get there, it may look entirely different. No gain on that run, and while the team is down, there's still time to come back and win the football game. If I'm the offensive coordinator, though, I've got to think about moving at a faster pace and maybe opening things up a little bit and throwing it a little bit more.
Yeah, he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Now it's Stafford. And Brate, the tight end's got it. The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up 4th down. And now the Lions going to stop us momentarily as they call a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. It's the second quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
And we often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going, but we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime and make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series so those surface tablets come into play. Check out what the defense is doing and see if they can find a better way to run it.
So they search for that patience here now.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
A good job defensively to hold that to 4 yards, and now it's 3rd down. Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. It finds Crabtree for the completion. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a 1st down. On 1st and 10, Watson. Wide open receiver, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Watson now hitting on 2/3 of his passes, 10 for 15 so far. 1st and 10. To the air yet again, Watson. Flush to his right. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Faking the give. Now Watson. A right side catch by Crabtree. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. He got 29 yards that time.
Richmond.
From the red zone now, Watson. And he's got it. And he's brought down. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a 1st down again. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Again, it's Watson. And he's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. Saquon Barkley as the first half is winding down. And the Lions add on to their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Elliott now to add the extra point. Elliott good with a PAT. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So that drive goes 8 plays. And the end result, a Detroit touchdown. Elliott now to kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. 15 seconds, all that remains for this first half as they come up 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground with Breida, and he'll take this one up close to the 25-yard line. And the Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half.
Trio right, trio right. Set.
Here's Breida. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. The Vikings on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1.
Set. Red 80.
The final shot before the break. Stafford. Incomplete. Both players were there offensively and defensively, but it falls incomplete. And likely time for one final play here in the half, so they will go for it on 4th down. A final shot before break. Stafford. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. So we have reached halftime with the visiting Lions taking the lead to the break. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, let's get to some of these scores around the NFL here in a busy Week 14. We'll start with the oldest rivalry, Chicago playing host to Green Bay in the NFC North. And that one, no contest thus far. 17-3 the score at the half. Nick Foles, a touchdown pass in that first half. From there, let's head over to New Era Field to see what's happening with the Bills. And they lead the visiting Browns in that one at halftime. Baker Mayfield with 3 touchdown passes. Finally, let's get down to Houston. Check on the Texans at home at NRG Stadium. And they've got the lead in their ball game over the visiting New Orleans Saints. The Texans, with a victory, would pick up win number 6 on the campaign. In the game you're watching is Deshaun Watson, who is the star of the first half. His guys have a 3-touchdown lead as we're about ready to go into the second half. And to get you through it, we give it back to Brandon Gaud.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Lions in the lead, and they're going to get the football first as well as the second half is underway. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. They rolled out of the pocket right, and I think he wanted a little something more out of that play, obviously. Instead, he hit a safety valve.
It looked like 2 well-coached teams there, even though there was no yardage gain, because the offensive guys, they realized their quarterback was out of the pocket. All the receivers went to the right spots, tried to get in his sight line, tried to open themselves up. Just nowhere to go where they could gain yardage. How about the defensive guys, though? Did not lose leverage and kept their poise and made a really nice play.
And they'll go on the ground. And able to get this one all the way up to about the 46-yard line. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
Here's Watson now on second down. Got a man over the middle. It's Williams. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down. Now a first down throw. Watson forced out to his left. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's second down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
On second down, here's Watson. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
The Lions on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. A shotgun snap for Watson. That's complete. He's got Barkley out of the backfield. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first.
Richmond.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. His throw caught right around the 6. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
I'd have to say they're feeling like they are in rhythm right now. Things are in sync, aren't they? Team's winning, got a nice little margin on the scoreboard, completing some passes, and they just completed another one for a first down there to the tight end.
Now whistles and a flag down. Looked like one of the Lions linemen might have moved.
False start, offense.
Well, this O-line's been great. They've got the big lead, so give them a pass there, I guess.
Yeah, I would
Still
think
first
so,
down.
because we were grading them on their performance in this game. A lot of pluses in their boxes so far.
That false start costly. Moves them back to the 9 now, 1st and goal. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. A great play there with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Lions are able to grow their lead. Sometimes a group that gets overlooked, certainly, the offensive line. Right there, they really helped with that score.
Didn't they tell us in our meeting that when we score touchdowns running the ball, that means the offensive line actually scored first by moving people back beyond the end zone? We saw evidence of that on that play.
Elliott good on the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told, and a 9-yard run on the end of it. Elliott now to kick this one away. Now Hardy on the return. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here at half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Well, so much for him being bottled up throughout the day. Finally finds a way to break through and get a really nice gain. The defense had felt great about what they had going. Now they've got to turn their attention to getting it back in that direction. Can they
pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back. T.Y. McGill in there to bury him for a loss of 11.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
Back to throw, Stafford. They got a man over the middle. It's Woods. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. The Vikings on third down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This will be 3rd and 15.
Set. Waiting.
Out of the gun, Stafford. He's going to loft one, deep left side here. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off by Gary and Conley. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Keep in mind, he had the 3-interception game last week, so we requested to talk with him this week. He was all smiles. He's still all smile.
Yeah, and we didn't jinx him at all, did we?
No.
Because ordinarily that happens. Things fall off, but not in this case. I think a lot of it goes back to his technique. His ability to see the quarterback throw the ball while understanding where the receiver is running his route allows him to make a lot of plays on the football, and he's taking it away at a really high rate.
After the interception, here's Watson. Crabtree with it over the middle. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. They'll run it now out of the gun. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to bring up a third down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to see.
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. Watson on third down. Being chased out left. He can run for it, and he will. He opted to go with a scramble, gets 2 yards, and now it's 4th.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's third down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the first down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
Now here's Michael Dixon. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the third. Now here's Ross. And now running right through it. We'll call that a 47-yard punt, a return of just 3. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game, and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite things. And I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, you talk about going to your playmakers. They probably need to do it.
Find someone that you're used to touching the football that makes big plays and give them that opportunity to maybe wake up everyone else. And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves his sticks. What makes a draw play like that successful?
Well, we did see where he made the first wave miss, and that was a big part of it. But a lot of it is just being actors back there, making the defense think it's going to be a pass.
Now it's Breida, and he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4.
We're waiting.
From the 50, Stafford. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. 6 yards on the pickup, and they're going to face a third down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Trying to get it to Robinson, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Sean Lee. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops. Thought they had something going there to break that goose egg here in the second half, but to no avail.
Hope was alive until that interception. What a terrific play, taking the ball away after it looked like they were starting a drive.
And now that shutout still standing. You know that's something those defensive guys hold a lot of pride on, too.
No doubt about it. They are excited about where they are in this game.
And Detroit getting set to go now. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I
we
enjoy.
share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it #1 for what we've seen this season.
They go play action here on first down. And he gets it down a yard or two shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down.
They brought the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead, he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir, able to turn that into a positive gain. Here's Watson, steps away to his left. Caught left side, Williams. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. Michael Crabtree, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Lions have got it on cruise control.
And now we've hit that stage of the game, partner, where one of our predecessors, one of the great commentators of all time, he used to sing in this situation when this game appeared to be over.
I know the fat lady's been singing for some time.
No, not her at all. This is one of our guys.
But she's singing, too.
Oh, she's singing. She's
on, like, the 5th tune at this point.
She left Scales way behind, but he used to sing something about turning out the lights. The party was over.
Now Hardy on the return. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, and finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what.
And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off at the 40. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
Elliott good with a PAT, and that will extend this big lead. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception. navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And they gave up the pick six, and now they'll be looking to right the ship here. Now, as a quarterback, are you a little more cautious this go-around?
You should be, just because after what you gave up, but you can't be so cautious as to just really take things in, and now you're not going to play loose enough to give your team a chance to score. But you still have to be careful because those defensive guys, I know the reputation defense guys can't catch. All evidence to the contrary in that last possession, though.
So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
Maybe a little frustration starting to creep in. The offensive line hasn't done a great job of protecting him in this game, and there he was, hit again as he threw it.
Yeah, another time on his backside, probably starting to get a little frustrated. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by the linebacker, Sean Lee. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. Well, Charles, he's thrown 5 picks in a game before, and right now, after that one, he's standing on number 4.
And right now, your defensive coordinator is asking the offense coordinator, can you do anything to slow this down? Because my guys have to keep running back out on the field. So play calling may come into it a little bit, maybe run the ball a little bit more. But a lot of it depends on the scoreboard. They may have to keep throwing it.
Tackle made there by Frank Clark. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom, quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
To throw on second is Watson. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. From the gun on 3rd, Watson. Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes. Frank Clark in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
That just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
And now out comes Minnesota. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. Tackle made that time by Dalvin Tomlinson.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. He's going to flip it out here to his running back. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. A gain of 4 on the play, and it'll be 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, which your counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. With this lead and the football, things obviously looking good, but maybe, you've taught me this before, maybe this is where the defense is hoping that the offense helps them preserve that shutout that they've got going.
And it has to be in the minds of the offense that they know how rare it is to get a shutout. So take care of them, protect them, take care of the ball, move it downfield, run the clock down. You don't want your defense to have to go on the field again the rest of the game. Reward them.
Webb. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's third down.
It's always tough trying to keep your guy upright when he's trying to throw the football. When you're dealing with those big, bad guys on the defensive front, it's even tougher. And this time, those guys on the opposite side won the battle, getting to the quarterback and knocking him into an incompletion.
On third down, Webb. And incomplete here on third down. fourth quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And out will come the offense as they take over. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And in the early going, the running game, as we see the numbers, it just wasn't on point. Well, now it's gotten more true to form.
And sometimes it takes a little while for an offensive line to get in sync, because early in the game, defenses throw different patterns at you, different formations, different sets, and you might not block them quite the way you want to. But as you start to get into a groove and you figure out what they're doing, now it all comes together, and that's what we're seeing right now.
So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Now we've got movement up front, and I think this is going to be on Minnesota.
False start, offense.
They expect this from the visiting team when playing indoors, but not the home team.
They're supposed to get all the advantages, right? The home crowd's supposed to help them. They forgot where they were, perhaps.
Set. Waiting.
From the gun, here's Stafford. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
Well, touch and time are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down.
We're rolling. Set. Waiting.
The shotgun snap for Stafford. And now here's another interception. He's picked off at his own 46. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
Well, plenty of credit has to go to the guy carrying the ball. He broke the tackle and gained the yardage. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the defender's bad. They're not going to make 100% of the tackles all the time. Even the best in the game will miss one occasionally. The key is not to let it snowball and miss tackle after tackle. On that play, credit to the offense, but that doesn't make the defense bad.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively, because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. Webb now. And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Elliott good on the extra point, and the lead will swell by 1 more. Elliott now to kick this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest,
don't forget today. don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going
Exactly.
forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
You're not going to want that feeling.
no, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now, because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
Stafford, and break. The tight end's got it. And he'll get it down here to the 43.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains, because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
On first down, Stafford here. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. Call it a gain of 5, and it'll be 2nd down. Now they got to get to the line quickly. To throw on 2nd down is Stafford. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Carpenter. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A good pickup there, a 22. From the red zone now, Stafford. He's going to let it fly. And that's going to be in.
What a job by this defense all game long. They've come together and really said, no one's crossing our goal line, and they're definitely not going to start right now.
You can just see the dejection. Feel like nothing is working offensively.
Here we go.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Set. 180.
Throwing again. Stafford. Right side complete. That's Woods. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down. Came up a little short on the last pass play. They did get 9 yards out of it, leaving him with his 3rd and 1.
4 down. 4 down.
So Charles are able to complete what so often seems to be elusive, a shutout in the NFL. And maybe what's fitting is they ended the game on the field, that defensive unit on the field. What an exclamation mark.
And probably felt like they could go another 60 minutes without anyone putting points on the board against them. That's the confidence you gain throughout when you're pitching a shutout. And they're going to leave the stadium feeling like they're all 10 feet tall.
So for Detroit, the streak lives as they move to 13-0 now on the year. And they'll get another road test next week as they have to go to Lambeau to take on the Packers. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, the loss here is their 10th of the season. And they will be at home next week to take on the New York Giants. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gautin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.